you can't have a swimming pool without having a palm tree. That's just my core belief in life. I think it would be just a crime to not have a palm tree if you have a swimming pool. I think it's kind of a crime not to have a palm tree even if you don't have a swimming pool. And some people say, I can't afford a palm tree. Well, I got a deal for you. Free palm trees from my nursery. This is gonna be the free palm tree episode, and I'm gonna teach you how to save money on digging your own holes so I don't have to. I hate digging holes. I charge a lot of money to dig a hole. Anybody can dig a hole. I should use my skills planting plants, designing gardens, that kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I like the workout that digging a hole provides. Look how beautiful this is, but I just don't want to dig any more holes. And so that means you can save some money by having your holes dug by someone other than me. And we'll talk about that in this video. But first of all, let's talk about free palm trees. Look at this tree. Is that a beautiful tree or what? Look at that thing. It's literally one of the greenest, prettiest trees in our nursery, except it has some funny bark issues going on with it here. Now, I've seen unbelievable damage to trees before. With the trees still thriving, it's amazing. So there's all kinds of conductive tissue through here. If there were not, this head would not be so pretty. If the head is really beautiful and healthy looking, that means you have a lot of conductive tissues left, despite how ugly it may look. I've seen lightning hit trees and you think like, wow, I can't believe the tree's still alive, and it thrives. That's because there's all kinds of redundancy in these trunks. There's also strength redundancy because these things are hurricane proof. They evolved in Hurricane Alley, and they're just amazingly strong for breakage. So when it looks like a tree is barely hanging on, like this one here, it really is not. It can live for many more years and be totally happy. And I'll tell you the strategy here. So my client just moved out here. They got young kids. They moved in. They got all kinds of trying to fix everything up on the property. It's ridiculously expensive to, you know how it is. Just moving in is expensive. Then you got to fix everything, get it just right, and that's even more expensive. So they're trying to save money anywhere they can, just like the rest of us, including me. And so I said, okay, look, we've got some trees that have been in boxes a little too long, and they need to get in the ground. These trees get in the ground, they get a ton of fertilizer and water, they will explode, guaranteed. So that one there, that tree is like $100 right there for that tree. Another tree for $100 over here. Look at this. Look at that, right? It's going to explode. It's going to grow up and take off. You know, as long as it has a hot environment, lots of water, it has new growth out the top, you give it lots of fertilizer, it's going to take off. Now, here's a tree that was almost full price. It's got a really beautiful lean to it. And I still gave him a really good deal on this one too, because it's still not incredibly vigorous. But you see the new growth coming out. It's going to be super beautiful. But here's a tree that's the whole idea is it leans out over the swimming pool here, right over the pool, just like that. The ultimate fantasy. Now, the trio of trees over here are actually probably temporary, because in about 15 years, this tree back in the corner, this canopy tree, is going to grow up and have a huge umbrella canopy. That's a Tijuana tipu tree. The tipu tree from South America gets yellow flowers, big flat top canopy, gorgeous tree. They want shade on their deck here, and they get blasted by sunlight. So as you could see, these queen palms, especially as they fill out more, are casting shadows in that direction. And the low angle sun, which is the worst of all during the day, is what you really want to block. And these queen palms will block it. You can see the shadow right where my hand is. See it over there, right there? And then of course this big Tijuana tipu tree is going to do a great job. The thing is, someday, in about 15 years, that tipu tree is going to swallow these queen palms. And so that's why these queen palms are kind of temporary. They didn't want to spend a lot of money on them, so I gave them these really cheap ones from the nursery. And they're going to look great as they grow out. And if they do, die for some reason, like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's not a big deal. Probably won't. They'll probably grow up through the canopy of the Tijuana tipu tree. And then the marquee tree up here, obviously, is the big, beautiful Phoenix dactylifera right here. And you can see the dactylifera, such a pretty tree. and we trim it so that it has this stepped pattern in it, and that gives it a really beautiful appearance when it's uplit at night. And it also will fill out. It's going to make some really nice shade on this whole patio system right here. There was a giant pine tree here before. That's now gone. And the big issue here when I came to this job site, my client might laugh behind me when she hears this, is I took one look at this giant stump and said, I want nothing to do with that stump. And so I required that they have somebody else take the stump out and dig the holes. And these guys did a great job. They actually did too good of a job. They kind of dug the holes a little too big. I want to tell you about how you can save money digging holes out here. As you can see, this is a sloped installation here. So you have the high side and you have the low side. What you generally want to do is to dig the tree. We wanted this tree down at the level of the curb because we didn't want any dirt sloughing over. But on a typical slope, what you'll want to do is you'll want to measure. We'll give you a dimension on how deep to dig it. You want to dig it from the middle of the tree down, whatever elevation line that is. You dig the depth from there. You don't want to dig it from the front, then the hole will be too deep. If you dig it from the back, the hole will be too shallow. You dig it right from the middle. And then a lot of the dirt you want to put on the downslope side to create like a little dam for the water, a retention dam. And then some of the dirt you want to put on the high side, up here on the high side. And the reason that you do that is we're going to mix our really good dirt with the dirt you have. What's really important with this sort of thing is you want to introduce the chemistry of the soil on your property to the plant you're planting. And the way you do that is you mix in 50-50 with good soil, and the good soil will add some nutrients and that kind of thing. So that's pretty much how you dig your holes. And we'll even have some recommendations of people that can do it for you. Have the holes totally ready to go when we get here. It'll save you tons of money. And the thing is that if you do have a swimming pool and it is a warm day, there's something that you need to expect if you hire me. And that would be that I am gonna go in your pool, and that's gonna be part of the deal. It's gonna be written in the contract. So I think you could probably see me right there. So yeah, it's been a long day. So now it's time to do my belly flop. Do it sideways so you can see it. Here we go.